Hello, welcome to CarCast. I'm Matt, the moderator, Deandrew, here with Bill Goldberg. How are you? What's got a samurai sword
Found a great, a great use.
for oh oh you cut down the seat foam with this sword.
It's brilliant. I didn't have a gigantic electric steak knife
Yeah.
or cutting electric knife, but you know, I figured that actually, to be honest with you, I started with this,
Yeah, you started with the
and it was a little jaggedy,
hunting knife.
and now this was given to me from uh, Bristol.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the motor
But yeah,
from
it
right.
came in handy. Remember, I wanted to kill myself with it last week. Now things have changed, and it's actually came in handy a minute ago. Throughout this project, I've found myself doing a number of things, and now I'm an upholsterer.
So that's the seat for the Cobra, right? So you're on the Cobra project. If you're now that the body's on, you're getting yourself a little bit fitted, more fitted into it. Get the tilt column, get the shifter located, get the seat installed. The roll bar, not yet, right? I think the roll bar is still not yet. But if you cut down the seat foam, the cushion, the the upholstery is not going to fit exactly the same anymore unless you can find a way to tuck it underneath.
Absolutely. That's why you cut the seams and do what you do, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's a bottom of a Cobra seat. You know how those are. I
Yeah.
mean, they're a dime a dozen. You can go to any upholsterer and they can make one. So, I mean, for me, I'm just trying to do things quickly here at the garage so that I can move to the next step. And I mean, I could write a book and I'll be doing a number of YouTube videos about this process, but you know, I don't know, last week we were talking about us being this close to starting it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, you know as well as anybody, especially at this day and age and this time of year around SEMA time, getting things done when you think you're going to get them done doesn't always happen. So, I mean, one thing leads to another, and then schedules and all kind of stuff. So, extremely long story short, we've come together a couple of times since you and I have spoken, and that was going to be the day, right? So, and you always incur little problems, and I am here to report that there is nothing left to do.
Okay. Wow.
Zero. We're completely done. The only problem was is that last night my race fuel's been sitting here for so long. I don't know how it got bad. It might have eaten part of the tank, but I actually had no fuel last night, like
Okay.
zero here at the garage that I was willing to put in the Cobra. Now it's tuned on 93, so all I had to do was have super premium around here.
Yeah.
I didn't have a drop of it, but it gave us an opportunity to make sure every single thing. I mean, let me just tell you how the night went. Okay. The last plug it goes in, which was the digital guard dog, right? So the push button start.
Yeah.
First and foremost, let me back up a little bit. Wiring, I'm telling you, man, I'm not the biggest fan of it by any stretch of the
Yeah.
imagination. What a lobotomizing sequence watching these two guys go over it this last week.
Right.
Just try to vet out everything that's going on, right? As hold on one second. As far as there's a lot of redundancy, and then with these extra boxes, extra doodads hanging on the firewall, whether it be the Dakota Digital, the Ron Francis, the MSD, the Digital Guard Dog, everything's got to talk to each other, and everything's got redundancy in it, right? And I'm
Yeah.
learning these things as we go, and I had no. I didn't even have rudimentary knowledge of wiring prior, and now watching these guys, I mean, let's just put it this way. To make an extremely long story short, we put the digital guard dog in, plug it in, video it. go to the back. Everybody takes their spot. I didn't have a fire extinguisher, but there was no fuel in the car, so it didn't really matter that much. Um, and we were just bumping it because we'd already primed it, and took the belt off, ran the
The distributor. You got to run
oil
the
pump,
oil pump.
oil pump, yeah, and we got everything going through, and man, we, I bumped the main power switch right when I powered it up. It started. It tried to start, so the starter just bumped, and we all three. Thankfully, I had cameras on because the reaction on all of our faces. First and foremost, I'm glad it was a neutral, obviously,
Yeah.
and secondly, thank God it was off the ground.
I was going to
So
ask, was it even on the ground?
no, it was
Yeah.
2 inches off the ground.
Right. Okay.
We've been moving it up and down. It'd been going up and down probably 3,000 times in the last 4 days. Literally, we got three guys thrashing on this car, and everybody's got their own space and agenda, and it's a Cobra, and the cockpit's that big.
Yeah.
And I mean, raise it up, please, man. I got to get to the bolt, and then you know the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's we're there, dude.
So
We're there.
something with the ignition switch that once you gave it power, it was
It was.
starting instead of going to like an accessory mode or something.
Well, that's that. My second car build, uh, worst case scenario guy, wiring.
Yeah.
Which wire is it? We just did a custom wiring harness. You know, how long did it take us? How many nights did we deal with it? And now we have to chase one wire, right? But I was amazed at how quickly they were able to figure it out.
Yeah.
It was good to have three people there, but they eliminated probably four of the boxes within 2 minutes. And so we came to the conclusion that it was in the engine compartment. So it was no wires in the cab whatsoever. So we lifted it up, looked at the starter. It was weird because, and that's a question that I can ask, and now I can learn. But on the starter, it looks like it had a jump. It was a wire that looked like it jumped itself. And all we did was unplug it because it gave itself constant power, right? So
On the
any
starter solenoid, there was some sort of wire, like a jumper wire. So it was constantly triggering the solenoid.
so anytime the power go on, boom, it start. And it was an extremely simple solution.
Yeah.
All it was unplugging that, and that was it. Well, we unplugged that, and there was one wire that was hadn't been plugged in yet, and it went to the starter, and it fed more power to the dash, and so it I guess it completed the circuit. So unhooked one, hooked the other one up, put it on the ground, ready to rock.
Yeah.
Uh, the start button works in conjunction with everything else, and I mean, like I said, that to me was the biggest nightmare. Is you hook everything up and designate certain things to do certain things and hope to God that when you press that button, everything works in conjunction. And man, it was fabulous. I mean, Clint from that owns CGC and Manny, those guys, man, I don't know what I would have done without them. But I got to say, it was extremely smooth compared to what
Yeah.
the nightmares I've heard.
When you're trying to wire up, like you said, like all the different components from different manufacturers, you've got the modules for the Dakota Digital stuff, you've got the MSD ignition stuff, obviously your starter solenoid, your now your push button ignition. What what I do, I haven't done a ton of the wiring like you're talking about, other than like audio systems. I built a bunch of audio systems and stuff. And yeah, what I like to do when the dust settles is, and you could do this on the Cobra because it's so small and it's still fairly analog at this point, but I give it power
Oh,
and like in accessory mode, and then I try to like touch some wires to make sure nothing's getting hot,
we touched everything.
and then
We
smell it.
ran 100%, dude.
Yeah.
Used to work for Peterbilt, and he was at the end of the line finishing up the wiring. If the harnesses were done incorrectly, he'd be the last straw, before it hit the floor.
Yeah.
And man, he's really good. He's really good. And they were extremely thorough. And yes, I mean, we had the heat gun out, and we actually looked at it through my thermal, which was kind of cool. But we ran checks beforehand, hooked it up to the battery, ran power. They ran each individual wire and tested each one of them connection wise and made sure. I mean, I was in charge of the grounds, which was a lot of fun. But man, it was freaking awesome. It was cool. I mean, we finished up at 1 o'clock in the morning. I think Manny's wife's going to throw him out of the house. Clint's wife's giving him the opportunity to do it because he uses his therapy, which all of us do. And man, it's just exciting as hell, man. They're probably more excited than I am.
That's
Maybe
good though.
not
That's good
because
that
he
they're
does so many of them, but Clint is just like a kid in a candy store, man. He wants to be here more than I do, and it's not even his car. Now, granted, he's gonna build one afterwards, and Cerakote, themselves have a lot to do with
yeah.
kind of sponsoring this car, and it's so much fun, dude. It really is. It's
You got a lot of favors to repay. So when they're building those cars, you better get your butt over there.
100%, absolutely. So, but
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 it's
then
fun. Those are good guys to hang out with.
100%, but then it's a completely different process, right? I mean, I've done it before and I know what to expect and I know how to rectify certain problems and I know what not to do. And, you're always going to screw up and you're always going to have things go awry. But for the most part, if you have a good game plan, it's like anything else. And it's, shooter preference and seat time. The more experience you have, the easier it gets. Manny does this shit with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
The only problem is that a couple of the things he applied to the Cobras that he builds to my car, which is a completely different car. Structurally, dimension wise, they're just different. So what may apply to his doesn't necessarily apply to mine. And he thought a couple things applied instantly. They didn't, and we had to rectify it, but there's no big deal. But
Yeah. Yeah, but how would you even know
he
until
can do it
you
with his
tried
eyes
it?
closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, running the harness, right? On his cars, they may be easier to run it on the right side of the vehicle. My car, originally, it was on the driver's side, and we ended up moving it because of not the convenience, but the user friendliness of the way he builds it compared to the way mine was built. Whatever. So just little
Right.
tiny things like that. Um,
Okay. So, and then you bumped it. So we know the starter works. We know it turns the engine over, but now we need to get fuel to
yeah,
it.
I got, you kidding me? I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning. I went to this. Yeah, we're
And
ready to.
then you prime the fuel pump. Does that electric pump? It has electric pump on this car? Yeah. So you prime the fuel pump, check for leaks.
Yeah, we don't have, we haven't, well, we had a little bit of a leak out of the sump, but that's because of my ignorance not putting yeah, not tight. But for the most part, yeah, everything's been fine. Brakes, we got to bleed the brakes. But I mean, fluids are all in. Kent's on standby on his FaceTime. I've talked to him probably 50 times in the last 48 hours. He's having more fun with it than I am. It's really cool to see the guys that originally built this thing kind of, walk me along
Yeah.
and teach me about it. And it's awesome, man. It's so much fun.
So
But
when do you guys fire it up? I know everybody wants to be there.
today,
Yeah.
today,
So you just have
100%.
to wait till everybody can show up,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Because they want to be there for that.
There's no way I would do it without them. Are you kidding me? They would
Yeah.
absolutely run my head over with a tire. Yeah,
So
no.
you check for leaks, you got fuel in it, you're gonna fire it up, check the timing, see how it idles, check the timing, let it get up to temp.
I am so excited to do all
Yeah.
of those things because they're not laborious and they're fun. And
Yeah.
at the end of that process, you get to hear this thing freaking roar into life. So,
Now,
um,
you're firing it up, but you're not going to drive it. You said, yeah, you got to bleed the brakes, like you said.
Oh, we have no shocks. I didn't tell you about that
Oh,
either.
that's right. You mentioned that before, actually, the shocks, and then
But I pulled, so the front two shocks, the diameter on the springs is no
yeah,
go. So took all the dimensions, spoke to Mo from Unique Motor Cars. And the guys that built this car with Ernie, I picked up the phone, called Unique Motor Cars. They answered the phone. They're the owners of the place, and they're great guys. And the ones that they told me the story about Ernie,
yeah,
you know, putting in a ditch a couple times, but great guys. And they gave me all the dimensions on the shocks that the QR1s I think they use or
QA
something.
one, yeah, QA
QA1.
one,
And they gave me all the dimensions on there, the spring rates, the weights, and tried to match them up. And I pulled all the shocks off, sent them out Saturday or Friday morning. And Bilstein, Tim Goddard got them yesterday, and today he's putting the package together, overnighting them to us. So
okay,
I got six shocks to put in, which is fun in and of itself.
yeah,
Uh, I took one of the tires off, one of the wheels and tires off, and obviously with uh, uh, knockoffs. I mean, the first time I dealt with the knockoffs and mounting them, it's a not only is it laborious, but it kind of screws with your mind, right? Like the last thing you want is one of those wheels flying off.
yeah,
So whether you're tying the bolts together with the wire or you're making sure that that everything seats in before you ring the spinner down.
yeah.
I was not looking forward to taking off all four of them to get the shocks out, but I didn't need to by any means. I took one off, went through that process, and took the two rears off of the on the driver's side, and then came to the conclusion that I didn't need to take any other wheels off because I could just put this thing all the way up in the air and get up under it, and I pulled them all out pretty easy. And
On the Lamborghini Miras, it had the knockoffs that we put them on, and then you tap them down because they've got the wings on them. You tap them down with the lead
tap them
hammer.
down. I didn't tap mine down. I fucking slung that
Yeah,
hammer.
you give it a bit of an effort. Now on the Mura SV, it's got such a deep dish. It's like it's tough to get in there with the
Oh, same thing here.
lead
No,
hammer.
don't
So
feel like you're the only one that had an issue. Yeah.
and those cars didn't have those cars don't have the safety wire. And if we install the safety wire, it's tough to show the car because you're like, it's not original.
But it's two
Well,
different things.
it
I mean,
is.
you guys aren't taking that thing out and pushing it to the limits to worry about
No,
the same.
but for what you're doing though, is it's like you just want to get the car on the ground and do a few laps around the garage first and then bring it in, check for leaks again, and then once you know it's good, you don't have to keep taking the wheels on and off. You could safety wire it down, but obviously you
Oh,
can drive the
1,000%.
thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
and the good thing is this thing's got clips. It seems as if it supersedes having to do the laborious bullshit
okay,
going from bolt to bolt. It has clips that go through the spinner. It hooks from the spinner to the wheel itself. So
yeah,
it kind of, you do the same attachment, but you don't have to string it all the way around the circumference of the wheel. Now
right, yeah, you wouldn't have to do that. It would just be like there's
I
probably a hole drilled in
spinner.
the spinner to a hole drill in the wheel. You do the one safety wire. That's all you need to do. And on the racing cars, like on Adam's cars, that's a center lock, but obviously not a spinner. And we have one giant
Nut.
socket
Yeah,
and one giant nut,
I'd love to be able to do that. That's
and
fucking
we have like a 6 foot long torque wrench, and it's
Oh, I
just
bet.
for the wheels, and
Yeah.
it's just, and then there's a pin that often goes through the because the the threads obviously stick out more, and then there's a pin that goes through. So if it loosens and it backs off, it doesn't come off completely. That's a safety pin that goes through it, and it's much quicker to do all of that than what
Oh,
you're talking
Jesus.
about. To safety wire, it's a pain in the ass, but
Yeah, and we talked about this before about the hammer and
yeah,
how unbelievable the hammer is in that you can smash that spinner with it. And you look at that hammer and it's so malleable. I mean, it looks like it's Play-Doh
it's the lead. Yeah, the hammer always gets screwed up.
yeah, but the spinner doesn't show a nick. It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't lick that thing like a lollipop, that lead hammer, but
Don't worry. Don't worry.
I don't
But
know.
it's
It's sort of
weird how
mesothelioma or something you'll get from that.
it's weird how
Some
you can sling it, man, and there's no
yeah,
damage. Obviously there's damage to the hammer, but and you get it, but it's just it's weird.
yeah. But so now, do you have fluids in the transmission in the rear end yet?
Yeah, that was fun. The tranny was fun.
Okay. Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. It's like get the transmission in, put the transmission tunnel on, and then fill it. And you're going, oh, this would have been a lot easier with the trans tunnel not on there.
Like I said, man, I mean, after going through this one time, you have things that you screwed up on that can apply to any other vehicle. The next time you're definitely going to
Yeah.
change. I mean, 1,000%. But in all honesty, it wasn't that much of a pain in the ass. I mean, you get a funnel and you get a freaking tube and you stand
Yeah.
up and I mean, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But
It
it sure
sometimes
would have
it
been easier to just do this.
yeah, it would have. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes like you have a handful of muscle cars when it's tucked up under that tunnel. Sometimes you have to use the pump. You can't get the bottle
Oh,
in
yeah.
there, and you can't get so you kind of have to get the pump to do it. So if you guys started up today and it's still on the lift, if anything, just for safety to get it off the ground, uh, without the shocks on it, but you can still get it up to temp. You can check the timing. You can run through the gears,
I could do everything other than drive it.
and then other than move the car. So now you can run through the gears. You can see how how that shifter feels. And if you need to adjust the placement, or if you end up making a new shifter handle or something like that down the line, that's fine. Like some things are to be expected, but so far it looks good.
Everything's an issue, man. I mean, yeah, everything's an issue. Um, coming to the conclusion of how I'm going to display the boots, right? Am I going to do matching boots on the things? Am I going to do, because as it sits right now, the shifter's got a round traditional, boot on it, and the e-brake or the vertical handbrake, whatever you want to
Yeah,
call it, it's square, right? Because it's
right.
right on the edge, and it has to actually lean over the edge on the tunnel.
Yeah,
So aesthetically, that looks like shit. So how am I going to do it? So I mean, just now I'm to the little stuff like that, which is absolutely cool as shit. Do
yeah.
I do
Someone
do
can
I do
stitch you
carbon
up
fiber
a nice.
bezels on it? Well, do I do carbon fiber bezels that match each other? Do I do the same boot? I'm going to put it online and do like a vote or something because
Yeah,
I can't figure it out. I've got like five different boots, different shapes, different sizes. Do I want to put a leather piece? There's a piece about this big on the dash,
yeah.
right?
Okay.
So the shifter's here, the tranny's here, and the e-brake's here. So you have a square, a circle here, and you have a square here. So do you do just a pad like this that's leather, and then put the boots on top of that? Do I do carbon fiber individual bezels on them? I mean, I don't know what,
Yeah.
but it
Someone
fine.
can stitch you up. Someone can stitch you up a boot that has one footprint and then has
Oh, yeah,
two, you
yeah, I've
know,
seen those.
you
It's
know what I'm
like
saying?
it's like the differential selector, and it's like on a Jeep.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know what's going to look. I mean, I think that's going to look like shit on the Cobra. I mean, I don't know, man.
It
I don't
it
know what to do. It's such a minimalistic car. Every single thing you do stylistically jumps right out at you, especially if it's not black. because there's nothing on here that's not black except for like two bezels and the shift knob,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know what to do, but it's a cool problem to have.
Well,
I'm
even
down to that.
e- even that, like you kind of want to before you decide on it completely, get in the car, shift the car. Once I know you've been in it, you've shifted it, but once the car's in there moving and you're getting yourself settled in, you'll figure out where you want that. You might want to make a different handle for the drift brake or a different handle for the
I'm gonna
shifter.
have to make sure. I mean, quite obviously, when you get in the driver's seat, you want everything to number one be accessible. You want it to be safe, you want it to be accessible, and you want it to be convenient. And you
Yeah.
want it not to be in an obstruction. So if I have the shift knob here, the problem is that I'm doing dimensions of the hole from the shifter and worrying about reaching for the shift lever compared. Now, am I going to hit the e-brake, the vertical e-brake? Now, am I gonna, in pulling it off the shifter, is it gonna be an easy throw? Is it too high? Is it too low? Well, the problem is that I didn't take the wheel into consideration. I took the shifter into consideration, but when I put the freaking wheel on, I was like, oh my God. And so we had to tilt it.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
We had to put washers in it and literally, angle the vertical handbrake, either towards the shifter or towards the wheel. And so it's like it's perfectly in the middle as it sits right now. And after I drive it, obviously it's the throw of the thing too. It's all the little details. I mean, because right now I got to move this thing like 3 inches for it to engage, whereas I want it to just pop like a sequential transmission, go like an inch, then
Yeah.
it engages. But to do that, I have to take the handle off of the mount that's on the transmission that's already under the hump, and I have to literally take the bolt out of the lever, and then unscrew the nut, which shortens the throw, right?
Yeah.
So how am I going to do that right now? I mean, it's just so I got to wait for Manny to get over here because his hands are much smaller and he can manipulate it from up top, and I can. So I got really claustrophobic a couple of days ago because I was up under the tunnel and we were trying to put that vertical e-brake in with the bracket, and I had my hands up in the tunnel around the tranny on top where the e-brake is, and I'm underneath the car, and my arm gets stuck, and I flipped out. It was not fun, but it's just little tiny stuff like that
Yeah.
would have been great, when we were putting it together. I looked at it too, and I didn't even think about it. And it's just that little thing that is such a pain in the butt to get to now, and it makes it inconvenient to drive because you want it short throw. So it's just I'm bitching and moaning, but it is
I
what
know,
it is.
but these are just the little things that you'll dial in after the
I'll
fact.
find like 6,000 more of them.
Yeah, there's going to be a handful of things, but it's fine. That's part of the process. I mean, once you guys get it fired up, and then for sure, once the shocks are on and you can actually just drive it around, you'll bring it back in. You'll double check stuff again. You'll check for leaks. You make sure nothing's on fire, no wires
The,
smoking,
yeah,
and
the ride height. I mean, just everything. I mean,
yeah.
the steering, I mean, every single thing's new on this car. So, I mean, we got to adjust everything accordingly, and it's going to take a little while to get that figured out. I mean, I'm excited to see what these Bilsteins feel like, comparatively. So,
So those were sent out, and it's a smaller diameter coil spring that are on because
and
that
shorter.
was yeah.
The ones in the rear are shorter because I depressed them or compressed them as much as humanly possible, and I still had a 5 inch gap. So there's shorter shocks in the rear. So,
Yeah. Okay. So in that IRS in the back is a quad shock. There's two on each side. Yeah.
and the and to take them out, it's brilliantly done. So the bolt to that runs through, so it bolts the underside of the frame, and the two shocks mount either side of it. And when you undo the bolt, you can't pull it out because it hits the gas tank, right?
Yeah.
So it's a bracket. So you have to take the bracket off that holds the bolt to
Okay.
get,
Yeah.
you know, and it was brilliant because if that wasn't there, if you couldn't take that off, I don't know what I was gonna do. I don't know.
Right. You pull the gas tank out.
No, but it's no, excuse me, it wasn't the gas tank, it was the body. I thought it was the tank because that's what I was gonna do. I was just gonna, oh, no big deal, just pull the gas tank out. It's 4 bolts, but it's not, it's the body.
It's the body.
Yeah.
Right.
So I can't move that. I'm not gonna drill a hole in it. And all I needed was a quarter of an inch, literally, because the bolt was like right there.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just little things like that that now next time I'll know. And I'll
Somebody must have figured that out a while ago, which is why they made the bracket removable.
brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely brilliant because I don't know how you do it otherwise.
Okay. All right. Well, today, later, end of day today should be a big day. The guys are coming over, get it fired up, and hopefully it goes smoothly. Knock on wood, goes smoothly, and you're close, like on the timing. That shouldn't be too bad. You guys put a new distributor and everything in it, so
We did not.
you
We did
didn't.
not replace the distributor.
Oh, okay. So you might be good.
Yeah, I mean, Manny wasn't super duper comfortable with replacing the distributor in that I'm greatly appreciative of Holly for giving it to us for the project, and it'll go towards the next one that where it's applicable. But why replace a fully good functioning distributor that's almost brand new? And it's the same type of distributor, dual
Yeah.
point. I mean, so, I mean, why mess with it? We're already completely set up. The carburetor's set, everything's set. The only thing I'm worried about is the linkage because, it's like a 4-part linkage and it looks like we have to lengthen it because the throttle pedal, we're only getting like half of it. We're not getting full throttle.
Okay.
The pedal hits the floor I mean, the pedal hits the floor honestly at about a fourth throttle,
That's
So,
that's the safety measure. That's the valet switch basically is if you could only go 25% throttle, keeps you safe initially.
well, and that's like the steel braided hose, the fuel line, right? So
Yeah.
it was kind of starving itself because it descended. It got into a smaller line when it went into the log. Well, we changed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now a bigger line. So yeah,
Right.
we're not going to be starving for anything with this car except for traction.
Yeah. That distributor issue, I'm heading into that pretty soon. Holly sent me some parts for the truck, right? For the 95 truck.
I didn't
I
want to
I
do
put
it.
the starter on it, which went smoothly. I just posted the video of that.
Oh, that stuff easy. That distributor freaks me out, man.
And I got to do the distributor. I got to do the distributor. I'm going to do plugs, I'm going to do wires. They sent me an MSD box
Yeah.
that I can control a little bit of the timing on it. Um,
Make sure you turn the rev limiter off at the beginning, or you adjust it.
yeah. So when I do the MSD box, I this is their new box. I think it's a 6AL plus, and it has like some boost retard because that truck has the little supercharger on it.
Mhm.
Now, I'm not expecting it to solve all of the issues. The truck is so old and has so many miles on it that I know I'm getting some blow by. So either the valves, something's leaking, piston rings or valve seals or something. I'm just trying to get it to, and I'm building another engine for it at some point. I just don't have the time and the space for it right now. I don't have the warehouse anymore. So it's that it's sitting in the warehouse covered. But when I drove it, I parked it there last November and I drove it like a month or two ago, and I could barely keep it running. It drove like shit. I drove it around the neighborhood and it wasn't good. But it did drive better before. So I just want to give it a tune up, see if I can get it to go. And I kept thinking uh the distributor was one of the things I didn't replace before that I think should be replaced on this. And I'll use it in the new engine as well, which is why we got everything from them anyway. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that next. You're
So
right.
if I had an extremely similar distributor, just a newer model, and I marked everything,
Yeah.
marked location, wouldn't that pretty much duplicate the
It it
situation that
it,
I
it
had?
should. It should be good. It should be good to go. Like if you're right. If you marked everything when you pulled that distributor out, you put the new distributor in, line up the marks, and even if and because the gear has kind of an angle to it when you know
Yep,
the so
yep,
when you put it in, like if you have
whip,
a mark, you kind of put it in a little bit turned. So when the gear sets, the marks line up.
gotcha.
And so it swivels a little bit when you put it in.
Yep.
If you nail it, you're usually good. And if you don't nail it, you're usually just off by one tooth. And even if you started it, you'd figure that out pretty quickly. And then you can pull off. So even though you want to do the timing again with the new distributor in it, you should if you hit the marks, you should be pretty much good to go. It's not like it won't
Yeah,
fire up. It'll fire up.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it should be almost spot on. Yeah, you want to check the timing and stuff again. Give it a little bit at RPM.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know, 2000 or something, and then and set the timing again.
That's
Uh,
where the box is set at 2000.
yeah. Uh,
Say,
a couple things like when you're doing it, and I'll go through these issues as well when I do it on the truck, is uh, I was watching somebody else's video the other day or something like that, and they were saying it wasn't working right and the timing seemed off. It's because when they clipped to the number one spark plug wire, it wasn't making a good connection. It wasn't clipping on the right, and it was throwing off the reading of the timing. So yeah, if your battery connection's good, you clip onto the wire and it's good, and your timing light is decent, then you should be able to get it dialed in. I
see.
I don't think the distributor would be that big of a deal. If you can,
No,
well,
if everything, hey, well, let's just put it this way. If everything else goes great, then why not change the distributor out?
yeah. So, but that's got the distributors in the back, right by the firewall.
Mm,
I didn't have a big Chevy engine in it.
front. What? The Cobra? It's got a
What?
351 Windsor in it.
Oh, the 351 Windsor. Yeah. Then yeah, it's easier in the front. The damn GM
351
engine.
Windsor SVO heads.
Yeah.
Now I'm a freaking Ford guy.
You weren't.
Hey, talking to Clint or talking to Kent Waters, you remember, do you know Kent?
I don't think
So
so.
Kent was one of Ernie's right-hand man. I mean, he took care of everything between Bill and Ernie, the shops. He was, I don't know, like the full, like the he ran it all,
Yeah.
right? And he built this car, and he's really good friends with Ernie. He's been with that family for 40 years, right? And like I say, he's having so much fun walking me through it. He's making me FaceTime him, and it's like a dad walking his kid through something, but
Yeah.
he's really enjoying it. But
You should FaceTime and put him on a tripod while you guys are starting it up so we
oh,
can
I'm gonna 1,000%. There's no
virtually
way
be
I could do
there.
this thing alone. I mean, there's too
Yeah.
many people that really jumped on the project and helped me out. So yeah, it'll be like a party. I cracked open a beer last night when we freaking heard it crank over, man. It's exciting. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I mean, as long as all the wiring and everything's done properly, everything should be fine because it was running well before we started to rip it apart. And
Yeah.
got like 300 miles on the motor. So,
Yeah,
um,
you're right. The engine, nothing needed to be changed on the engine. You didn't have to take a valve cover off or do anything.
no way.
Pretty much good to go. Now you probably have to dial in a because you changed the fuel lines.
Mhm.
Um,
No, no, we didn't. Well, no, we didn't
you said
change.
you put the larger fuel line going to the fuel log.
Well, that's it. Literally
Yeah.
from it's probably a 3 foot line, 2 foot line.
Yeah. So idle, it might be fine. You might have to dial it in a little bit, the car, but
I'm sure we're gonna have to. Like I said, I'm worried about the freaking linkage more than anything at this point.
yeah.
Because we have limited room and there's just I don't know how I'm gonna move it. I just don't. There's no room.
Well, you might have to start from scratch. You might have to reinvent the wheel over there, you
Yeah,
know.
I'm gonna have to. I mean, it's a rudimentary system, but and I, you know, it can be done. It's just gonna be it's gonna suck because there's no space.
Yeah. Right. But I mean, for now, let's get it fired up, get it
Oh,
dialed in.
I'm cool with a quarter throttle. I mean, I can work off the motor. I can work off the carburetor as far as running the engine, but
Yeah.
I don't need the pedal, but I do eventually. I
Eventually.
want a lot more
Eventually.
than a quarter of
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
you know. So.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Okay, so before we wrap things up, let's talk about Mustang GTD for a minute. The guys at Edmunds are getting it on their test track, so we'll go through the numbers and stuff with them. With I'll do that with Alistair on another show, but. I went out to Palm Springs, got invited to drive the GTD. I didn't do the track day. Some guys were at Thermal on the track, but met in Palm Springs. They they had a couple of the cars there. They invited a few people. They gave me the keys to a GTD. They said we planned a route in the navigation for you if you want. You go up into the mountains. It's 115 degrees, 110 degrees in Palm Springs, but once you get up into the mountains, it was gorgeous and there was trees and it's just a completely different world up there. And they're like, here you go. Just you've got 3 hours basically to just you know go up there and just flex the muscles of this thing. And I'll bring up a couple. These are some of the images that I took while I was up there. They gave me this is probably your spec here, big guy, is
Ugh.
the all black, the total murdered out GTD. Um, the car is insane. It's like 6 inches wider. It's lower. It's got the active arrow all over this thing.
Thing's beautiful.
It's killer. It really is kind of killer. Uh,
I
this
mean, it looks kind of like an Aston, right? To me, because it's
yeah,
got the big haunches in the
it
back and
has a bit of that. Um, I found this art museum over there and it had this weird giant silver nugget and I was like, oh, that's not a bad photo. There was something kind of interesting that came up. So when when you open the hood of this, the GTD has the 5.2 liter supercharged engine with 815
yeah.
horsepower. The GTD has so under the hood, you can see it's got this mesh
Mhm.
that gives it a lot of heat extractors, but they even went a step further. Each one of these fasteners
Are
can be
made of
removed
gold.
to remove the mesh for a track day.
Nice.
Just completely remove them completely. Um, the carbon fiber body, everything on this thing is functional. It really is pretty impressive. The trunk lid on it is not even a real trunk lid. It's just some fasteners and it's removable. And there's the you can access the rear suspension. There's oil coolers and stuff in there. Uh, the active wing, this thing is pretty insane. And this video that we're just looking at it's not active because I'm not driving it, but this thing moves all over. Uh, the rear suspension, a little tough to film, but it's it's all about what they did, the suspension. The guys here at Multimatic that that put this car together. In this video here, you'll see it drop, I believe. There you go. And it goes quickly, so it lowers. I'll show it again. You can see the front up here on the front wheel. That's when it goes into sport mode or track mode, rather. Um, So I will say this, like there are so many cars that you get into, these supercars today, the extreme ones, and you go, "Oh, I get it. This is the race car for the street." The Ford GT, which you've been in, you're like, "This is the race car for the street." And we say that because it has this incredible performance, but also you realize, I don't know, it's just like there's no sound deadener, it's loud, you hear every little pebble hitting the carbon fiber from underneath. This car to me is a bit of that, but Multimatic did such an amazing job of making this car compliant. When you put this thing in its normal mode and drive it around, yeah, the suspension's tough, but nowhere near unlivable. Like I've driven supercars and stuff that are far more uncomfortable. It and
Sounds like it's not a Senna by any
It's
stretch of
not a
the
Senna
imagination,
by any means,
right?
and the engineers at Multimatic are proud of this, and they absolutely should be. The engineering and the way they dialed in this suspension is so incredible, and I know there's going to be several other testers out there or journalists that are going into this thing going, the car is big, it's heavy, it's got all this rubber in the front, it's going to
They're
drive like
haters.
shit.
Who
It's not
cares?
happening.
Who
It's
cares what
an
they say?
it's an absolute beast.
Yeah.
This is an absolute beast. I we went up I went up into the mountains, and because we were given ample time, I was given, 3 hours or stuff to drive this thing. I was able to put it in sport mode. You can't put it in track mode on the street. It gets so low, and it's cooling and venting underneath would tear off the car. And Multimatic, who built it, they even said, we made all of those pieces plastic intentionally because in track mode, they are wear items. They will
Mhm.
be replaced at some point. So you don't need track mode. So put it in sport mode, open it up. This thing grips like you wouldn't believe. Now, for starters, you saw it's the 800 plus horsepower engine out of the GT500 and the Raptor R, but unlike the GT500, it's a transaxle. So that transmission is basically in the rear for better weight balance. It's more like what you've seen on the front engine Corvettes. Um, and you feel it. And you do hear that transaxle like you would in the GTR. And the one thing in the GTR, especially the first gen, I say first gen, I mean the modern day ones when they first started doing it about 10 years ago. You heard a lot of that clinking and clacking and the clutches doing their thing. So you hear a bit of that, not as loud as the GTR, but you hear a bit of that. But so much rubber on the ground, uh, but easy to drive. Put it in sport mode, tore up through the canyons. It sticks like glue. It sounds amazing. The steering feel is perfect. The steering's perfect. The balance is perfect. The the calibration on it, uh, even just putting it without even using the manual power paddle shifters, I felt the calibration for what I was doing was totally spot on. And then when I got traffic up in front of me, I put it in normal mode and turned the stereo on. It's like it's got, and you're
Mhm.
like, oh, it's a Mustang. So I tore through the canyons, had a great time, great view. I opened it up, without getting myself in trouble. there's a crazy straight through the trees and the mountains. Before I even realized what I was doing, it was probably 120 miles an hour and backed off. The brakes are absolutely phenomenal. Um, and then when you do the whole bit that they they set out to do, you get on the freeway for 10 minutes and you drive back. I just put the radio on and put the cruise control on because it has cruise control. And in my head, I was like, why does it even have cruise control? And I was like, but
Pretty funny that it's got cruise control.
uh, it was cool. It was dialed in. The craziest thing that I saw up there is for a minute, I got behind two FedEx trucks and those guys were fucking nuts through the canyons. Like they were hauling. I was like, damn, these guys are, they must be just part of their normal like routine. And they knew there was no stop. They had like, they didn't have like stops to pull off. They were both going to the same location. They both pulled off at the right, at the turn, but, and whatever, it's like 50, 60 miles an hour that they were doing. Um, but you could see the line they were taking and how those trucks lean in. I was like, I don't know if I'd be doing that, but these guys must have figured it out. And there was two of them, and there was 7 or 8 minutes there. I was behind these guys, and they were hauling ass. It was funny to watch. I was like, oh, if I wasn't alone, I'd get somebody to film this thing. But it's funny. But anyway, Mustang GTD, super impressive for sort of a muscle car, if you will, that has some weight to it. Um, I'm curious to see what the performance numbers are. We saw what Ford did at the Nürburgring, which people were doubting. Can it reach those numbers? But I'll tell you, you're going to hear reviews. You're going to read reviews where they're going to say they like it better than a Z06, which is not quite priced the same, but it's impressive.
It better be, and it's more than not quite priced the same. It's
Yeah,
double the freaking money. Come
it's
on. Yeah.
325 grand. And when
That's
you
you
get
can't
into
get
the,
into one for 325. There's no way. I mean,
uh,
good luck. It's not
y-
going to have anything. Just talk to Kenny.
yeah, it's going to be closer to 400 with
Yeah.
with
So I
with
mean, let's be
packages.
perfectly honest. You're talking about a $400,000 American car. It better be fucking good. I mean, it better be every single thing that you're saying it is,
Yeah.
right? So that's awesome to see that it is. I can't wait to get behind the wheel.
I honestly, I think you're going to be impressed. You're going to be impressed by how well it does all of those things. The front axle lift is quick. When you put it in its track mode and you see it lower, you can see it in the rear, in the back of the car, the cantilever suspension with that window that you can see it.
Yeah.
You can see how the shocks change length. It's done electronically. It's not hydraulics by like it's done with servos. It's done kind of like the new KW shocks that extend. And JRI has a version that allows you to change like ride height and stuff. Um, it's cool. It's impressive and it's quicker. So when you hit the front axle lift, it's a couple seconds. It goes pretty quick.
That's
Um,
a killer, man.
yeah, it's
Like I said, it better be. But I mean, yeah, and there's always going to be haters out there. 100%. I mean, look at the F40, right? I mean, I don't want that car to be refined,
yeah,
except for to a certain degree, right? So I mean, and that's part of the stuff that you're paying for, those little quirks that make it, a race car, in you know, Louis Vuitton clothing, whatever.
yeah, yeah. I think people that get the car and get a chance to actually use it, other than just taking it, to Cars and Coffee,
We're gonna love it.
I think they're gonna love it. If you find one to get behind the wheel of, especially in your town where you've got,
Oh, in a heartbeat, a trillion times more so than wanting to get it in a Corvette because of
yeah,
the size difference. That in itself is a huge plus to that car, you know. And it's just balls out performance. So
it,
yeah,
when
I
they
can't wait
announced
to
that
steal
thing,
cannons.
when they announced it, people kept saying and I got this question quite a lot too, is do you think it's going to hold its value? Do you think it'll be a good investment like the 4 GT? And I was I was saying to myself, I was like, I don't know if it's going to do exactly what the 4 GT has done value wise because you're starting with a Mustang, you get into the interior and it's like the new Mustang. But I will say this, after driving that car and seeing how impressive that car is, how much more drivable it is, even compared to the 4 GT. The 4 GT is unique.
Practicality.
Yep.
That's where the difference is, right? I mean, it's so. I mean, I drove that freaking thing from Chicago to New York, right?
Yeah.
For um, yeah, who did I drive it for? Bush,
Yeah.
and that was arguably the most uncomfortable drive I've ever had. And I went on a diet for a month prior. Um, so that in and of itself I mean, they're two completely different cars,
They're
right?
different.
But a new generation of kids look or of people with the money to go out and buy a GTD. I think the practicality of it alone will make it. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's really hard to
I
say.
think it'll do well. I think people love the car. It's going to be talked about as a car that people really enjoy. The ones who drive them, I think, will enjoy them, and I think that's going to make a big difference. I think people are going to go, I love this thing. You're right. The 4 GT, it's so incredible. It's dynamic, and you pull up to any event, any cars and coffee, people are like, oh, the 4 GT is amazing. But you're right. It's like, are you gonna sit in that thing for 3 hours like I just did
God, I hope
through
not.
the mountains and are you gonna hit Angeles Crest and have a great time with it?
I could see 30 minutes or an hour
Yeah,
when you're pushing the car and enjoying it and having fun with it. But right when you pass that point, it's just that you can't. You just, I mean, I'm not a normal human being size wise, so it's hard for me to really pass judgment on it because I'm not. I'm a mutant, but it's extremely uncomfortable. I mean, but my brother's F40 is probably as uncomfortable. You
yeah,
know, uh, so I mean, it's a give and take.
yeah.
Right?
Well, anyway, we'll crunch the numbers on that thing once Alistair and his team get it up on the track. But
What's the weight difference between that and the vet?
the weight difference, I think the Mustang
Is it
GTD is like
substantial?
4,700. Let's see. Let me look. Mustang GTD is 43. So call
Hmm.
it 4,400 pounds. Um, Corvette six weight. It's probably the Z06 is 3,400 pounds. It's 1,000 pounds difference between a Z06.
Ah,
Um, what's the ZR1 weight? The ZR1 is 3,900 pounds.
closer.
So it's still 500 pounds less
Hmm.
than the GTD. I mean, you feel the weight, but
But it's a good feel. It,
but
it's like
it's
the
definitely
weight
got
of
a
the
lot more
challenge.
balance of it. It doesn't feel like a heavy front engine car
No.
because again, that transaxle helps out. They got a lot more weight balance. The aero, it actually feels, in my opinion, a little lighter as you're going faster because of that active aero. It does what it needs to do. And they crunched all the numbers on that. And that active aero, we hear all these stories. You could drive it upside down at 150 miles an hour, whatever. I don't know if you can. It works. It works. It does what it's supposed to do. Uh, but yeah, it's a cool car. It's fun as shit. I thought it was just going to be a hot rodded a Mustang. I thought it was going to be a really expensive GT 500, and I did 2 days with Ford in Vegas and the GT 500. We drag raced it. We drove it through the mountains. We hit the road course on it. Like we spoke to the engineers, and I did like I don't know 5 or 6 passes at Vegas Motor Speedway on the drag strip in that car as well.
Hmm.
And there's no mistaking a GTD for a GT 500. GT 500 is a badass car. The
Mhm.
GTD is completely different.
Oh yeah.
It's
It should be.
completely different. It says Mustang, it has a similar engine,
And it's
and
got a soul. I
it
mean,
just
it seems to me
the
that that
sound, the balance, the
car,
driving, the steering feel, like everything just feels different. I feel bad for GT 500 owners, you know, because but you're right. But to go from GT 500 to GTD, you're like, it's still a Mustang. How much we do? Same engine. Like you see where that money went.
yeah.
You definitely see where that money went. So anyway, it's impressive. It was fun. I hope you get a chance to drive one at some point. I think because I want to get your feedback on it as well. And uh, having driven so many of the like the demons, the drag race versions, the road race versions, the 170 and the what's the big tire demon? What's the red eye? Is there another name for the red eye? Is it the super stock?
There's a red eye, the super stocks
You know,
above
you had your
them.
you had your demon, and then you're like, nobody takes the drag race car and turns it into the road race car. But then the road race car, for lack of a better term, came out. So you were like, I don't want to undo it.
Yeah.
What was that road race? That's just the demon red eye?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wide body.
The wide body car. Yeah. Looking at that car, that's as close to a GT 500, right? They gave it horsepower, they gave it bigger tires
Mm.
all the way around, a lot of grip in the front. But for both of those cars, you're still kind of front engine, conventional transmission. You're going to have, you're not going to have that 50-50 weight balance, but it's a badass car and it's everything you want a muscle car to be. The GTD is different in that regard, having the transaxle and things like that. But Corvette's been doing it for a while, so
Yeah.
this was their chance to go after that. But all right, what do you say? We're gonna wrap things up. When the guy's coming over? A few hours? End of day?
I got a 2 hour jump on him, so
All
I can
right.
go and do some upholstery work and oh God.
All
There's
right.
not
Well,
much
good
else,
luck
man. Funny,
today.
funny thing is we're gonna move on to another car next, so just don't know which one it'll be.
Yeah. Well, good luck today. I hope the guys have fun and it goes flawlessly. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Until next time, keep the air in the spare and the bag in the wheel.
Boom.